As you know, my previous Domane has a crack on the C-stay, and I had to find a new bike. I wanted to go over my decision process into buying a new bike and how to break things down if you're deciding on what bike to buy. Oh, and as for this Domane, I'm still up in the air as to what I would do with it, but here's to hoping for a speedy recovery for my Domane. Welcome back, bikers. I appreciate y'all joining us on this ride. Okay, so this is the New York City ride that I did a little while ago, and this clip is from part of the Brooklyn portion of that ride. I'll link in the description the Strava of this ride, so if you're looking to see this segment of this portion that we did, you can find it there. Now, before we get started, I want to briefly touch on decision making and the overall process of choosing a bike. I made a video on this topic before, and I just want to say to always remember to look at things that you can change after the fact. A lot of upgrades are upgradable at a later date. A great book on making decisions is How to Decide by Annie Duke, and 2 points I want to cite that she says are: a bad outcome is not a bad decision. I was talking to one of my subscribers who emailed me and was telling me about how they initially started with the Domane AL3 and have now upgraded to the SLR7. But if he never took the initial step to get that AL3, he never would have realized that it wasn't enough for him to make the move to the SLR7. He still will be debating which bike to buy. The second point I want to talk about from the book is if the result was not on your list of possible outcomes, you need to improve your process. Again, understand you can buy something and hate it, and that's okay, because now you can stop thinking about if you will like it or if you wouldn't, and you can start working towards something you do like. Man, I'm giving y'all some good nuggets here, and we haven't even got into the video. So let's not prolong this any longer and go ahead and start this video. So first thing we want to talk about as far as my decision making process was to establish a budget. So my overall budget was probably right around $4,000. Now, if I would have been assured to get reimbursed for my damaged bike, I even toyed with the fact or the possibility of getting an SL7. However, seeing that the SL7 and the SL4 are the same exact frame, and I could have just changed over the components on the SL4, that gave me a wide range of possibilities. And along with that, the SL4 and the SL7 are the same exact frame minus the paint schemes, and it's a $4,000 difference in price. So that means the difference in price of the components. Some components you may want, and some you may be able to do without, or not that high on your list of priorities. So again, that just gives you a wide range of possibilities when looking at what bike to buy. So moving on in the decision making process, once I knew the airline was not going to reimburse me for my bike, that pretty much immediately knocked the SL7 out of contention. I wasn't going to go that high only if I had the money back from my original bike. Was I even going to entertain the thought of going up that high? But again, once the airline declined to reimburse me for my bike, they kind of were knocked out of the process. So with the SL7 no longer being a possibility, my range has been narrowed down from the SL4 to the SL6. Now, I was looking at the SL6 for the Ortega group set. However, if I was going to spend that money, I'd rather put that towards a wheel over the group set, as I think that'll provide a bigger performance upgrade. So then now I started to look for an SL4. As I stated earlier, the SL4 all the way up to SL7 is the same exact frame, only the components are different. So I was on a mission to find an SL4 and see if I can get them to do a group set swap for me, included with the price of the purchase of the bike. However, being that I had an SL5 and SL6 near me, I wasn't too committed to travel too far for an SL4. Also, I'm not even sure if I would have went that route if it was even available. but I wanted to have the information just in case. So I called the 2 shops that I saw had an SL4 listed on the website, and both of them told me they were sold. So it would have been cool to know if they had an SL4 available, how much group set swap would have been, or if they would have included in the price like I was going to ask to see, just to have the information available, also maybe for a future group set swap. So now my options are narrowing even further. We're down to an SL5 and an SL6. I had an SL5 in white, which of course I bought, available to me, that was somewhat nearby, about 90 minutes away. And there was also a red SL6 available right around the same distance from me. Now keep in mind, I was eyeing an SL5 in white even when I had my original SL5. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Rage Red. However, you know, we all have a type. Just like if you're looking for a partner, you have a type of what kind of partner you're looking for. And when it comes to bike, I have a type. And for me, I prefer kind of like the single color, clean look versus the two-tone look. And the two-tone is a very nice scheme, but for me, I'm just more of a solid color type of person. Now, with that in mind, I did see an SL6 and matte black that piqued my interest. However, that was about a 14-hour drive, and I wouldn't have mind making a weekend road trip to go get it, but it was on the top end of my budget already. And like I said before, I kind of prefer a wheel upgrade over a group set upgrade. And that's pretty much the difference in price between the 5 and the 6. Getting the group set that comes along with the 6, or using that money to go get a wheel set. But I mean, what can I say? Matte black is matte black, so it's hard to go wrong with a matte black anything. So I did keep that as an option, but it was a far and away option. So I called both shops, and both the SL5 in white and the SL6 in red were both available. I looked at each bike, and my goal was to make my bike faster while still being comfortable and make it lighter. So I looked at the top versions of each bike, the SLR models, and try to add elements that each of them had, and that's pretty much where the SL5 started to pull away. So as far as the SL6, yes, it does have the Ortega group set over the 5, and Ortega is a very nice group set, and maybe in some months I'll upgrade to that group set. However, to stay within the budget I want to stay in, I decided to not go for the Ortega. So as the SL5 is starting to pull away, let's talk about the upgrades. I wanted to integrate a little bit of the other 2 SLR road family bikes along with the Domane. So of course I'm talking about the SLR Madone and SLR Imanda, and I wanted to add some of the speed of the Madone and some of the lightweight elements of the Imanda while still keeping some of the comfort that comes with the Domane. And you know what? Maybe Trek can hire me to create that bike. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? But no, but seriously, as I say that, it would be pretty cool if Trek had like an option where you can see people post their customizations of their bikes, and you can match and replicate someone's bike if you wanted to. But let me not stray too far. Let's get back into this decision-making process as far as how I decided on my bike. So the first thing I knew I wanted to do was upgrade the wheels. So my options were between the 3 road models and the wheels that they come with. Now the SLR Madone comes with the Pro 5s, the SLR Domane comes with the 3V, and the SLR Imanda comes with the Pro 37s. And I'm going to make a more detailed video onto why I chose specifically the Pro 5s over the others. But I did choose the Pro 5s as I felt that suited me and fit me better for the type of riding that I do. So now that I added the same wheels as the Madone to give it kind of a faster feel on the bike, the second thing was the tires. Now again, all 3 of the SLR models run the Bontrager R3 tires. The Domane comes in the 32mm configuration, while the Madone and Imanda come in 25mm configurations. Ideally, I probably prefer somewhere in a sweet spot like a 28mm. but I didn't want to lose some of the comfort element, so I ended up going with the 32 millimeters of the Domane. So the third thing was to get some elements of the Emonda in my bike, and the main thing the Emonda offers is weight savings. And the way I went about saving some weight was to go tubeless. Now, of course, the carbon wheels are going to be a big weight saver as well. And I could have went with the Pro 37s again, which is the wheels that come with the SLR Emonda. However, I did choose the Pro 5s, which are about a ½ pound heavier, but again, I felt it suited my needs better. Now, another weight saving upgrade that I did was to change the rotors from the 105 rotors to the Ortega rotors. Now, this was more of an aesthetic upgrade. However, it is still lighter, but I mainly did it for the aesthetics, as I think that icy white rotor complements the white paint scheme perfectly. And another minor upgrade to save a little bit of weight is switching out my old Elite water bottles to the Bontrager Pro water bottles, and of course I put the white ones on to match the paint scheme as well. So now all these upgrades have taken about 3 pounds off of the weight from the stock version of the SL5 to the version that it is now. And like I said, I'm not done. Maybe in some time I'll upgrade the group set to a Tickr. I may be looking at upgrading the pedals as well to something lighter, and maybe doing a saddle or something like that later on. But as of right now, it's probably going to stay this way, and I'm happy with this. But again, as I spoke earlier in the video, being okay with making a decision and knowing that I could change things if it doesn't work out the way that I want it to work out. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you're looking for a bike, I hope this has helped you, and if you like this content, don't forget, drop a like, subscribe to help your boy out, and until the next one, I'm gonna talk to y'all soon. Be safe.